cannot lose. We may be behind on the scoreboard at the end of the game. If you play like that, we cannot be defeated. And we came here to...
Keep driving! There you go! There you go!
He's heavy! I'm out of strength!
Then you negotiate with your body to find more strength, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going, you hear me? You keep going, you're doing good, you keep going. Do not quit on me.
Not that we are an addict on addict. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful and our mental on that. It is our light, not our darkness, that our bright light. You're playing small, not serve the world. There was nothing enlightened about life that other people won't feel insecure around you, around you. We're all shine. It's not just enough of us to everything. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same.
Hey everyone, it is June 16th, 2024, and it is Father's Day. I am your host, Sarah Parah Normal. You're watching Legit Paranormal on LegitPodcastsdotcom. But before we get started, from our Legit family to yours, a very happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Spooky, not spooky. If you're a fur dad, if you're a stepdad, if you're an older brother, just want to recognize all the men and women who fill that role that play a very important part in a child's life. And I want to give a special shout out to my dad, Andrew Bell, who married my mom when I was 11 years old. So not my biological dad, but very, very, very much played that role in my life. So let's not discount all the dads in any role that they may play. Thank you guys. And joining me, as always, is the beautiful, is the talented, is the well-spoken Cyn Shrader Hill
Author. Hey.
Well, see, I made you do it.
You
I
did.
made you do it.
Why did you do that, Mike?
Do that, Mike.
Why did you do that, Mike?
How are you, Cyn? I haven't seen you in a bit.
I am good. I'm good. I have missed you so. Missed you so. Yeah.
I missed you too.
I missed Mike a little bit too.
A little bit.
Yeah, just
A little bit. He'll be back. Don't worry. We can't keep him away.
I know. That's a good thing.
It is.
Yeah.
And before we get started, really quick, Cyn, I just want to mention thank you to everyone at Parapost Network Central for supporting Legit Podcasts. So while you're liking and subscribing to Legit Podcasts, please do so for Parapost Network Central and all of their great programming as well. And with that said, Cyn, what do we got for tonight?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I am.
Oh my. Listen.
I'm listening.
The person we have on with us tonight
Mm-hmm.
is actually a dear friend of mine. Just don't tell him I said that because it might go to his head.
Oh, I don't know if you can hear you right now.
Well, he is a paranormal investigator. He is a photographer. He's a videographer. He is involved with Eric Freeman Sims on the Strangely Haunted podcast that they
love Eric.
Yeah. Well, you're going to love this guy too. He is also an author. Look what I have.
Ooh, can you read me the names?
Yeah. Hell's Carnival. Sorry. This is Taylor Mill Horror. It's based on a true story where they actually investigated this place. And I am right in the middle of it. And it is fascinating. The other one, fiction, Hell's Carnival. He had me. He got me at the end. I'll just tell you, he got me at the end. Dang you, Austin. So without further ado, please welcome Austin Lawrence.
How you guys
Austin,
doing?
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always an honor to be in the presence of the Cyn Shrader Hill. So
You got to make her say the last part. We call her Cyn Shrader Hill Author, so if she doesn't say it, she can't talk. Cyn Shrader Hill.
Author?
Yeah.
Wow.
there we go.
I
It's
didn't
you.
know. I didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't either. We're learning together.
I just make stuff up as I go along.
Austin, the backdrop.
Yes. The old JB Night House.
I was there.
Yeah, did you have fun?
I did. Did
We
you?
barely got to talk.
I know.
Yes, I had a great time. It was a very week of no sleep, but it was a good time.
Awesome. Awesome. So we can expect this documentary coming out later on this year, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be a couple more months. We're going to go back and film some more. A couple people who weren't able to interview. So yeah, it's gonna be an exciting one.
Nice, 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 nice.
Are you guys gonna fill me in? You guys gonna fill me in on, Austin?
What the JB
house? Yeah.
Austin, you want to?
So yeah, I mean, I can give you a very brief overview. Otherwise, Eric will punch me in the face next time he sees me. I don't get all the details right.
Yes,
because he's super into the history, hardcore. But so the JB Knight House is a home purchased by my good friend Eric Freeman Sims, and it's a over 200-year-old home with a lot of mysteries. And even the historian in the town has been studying this house for decades, trying to figure it out. It was owned by the Knight family and then later the Rogers family. They're both very prominent families, pretty much all attorneys, very wealthy. And it's just a very, very strange house that has tons of mysteries involved with it. And all kinds of ties going back to Civil War hospital to, Revolutionary War ties. I mean, it's just crazy. And the deeper you get into it, the more mysteries that we come across.
It's crazy.
Yes, yes.
So we're doing Eric. So this is in Tennessee then, right? Right, Austin?
No, this is actually in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Okay. Ooh.
So it's in Goblin Town.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
That is right. That is
right.
Yeah. Those darn little goblins.
Yep. Now it's got a haunted house. So hey,
right.
Maybe we'll come check it out.
Do you know, honestly, I have the goblins to talk about for the news the next time.
Wait, is these a guy you guys haven't seen? You haven't seen Hellier, right? You haven't watched Hellier.
No.
It's about Hellier, Kentucky, and Goblin reports.
No.
Austin, you probably haven't seen this either. I don't know.
I have seen it.
You have seen Hellier. Okay.
Yes.
So is this the same kind of country? Like around there with the cave systems and stuff, or no?
No. Hopkinsville is really well known for the goblins. I forget the exact story. Cyn, do you know it?
I've got it next to me, but honestly, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I've got it set for Wednesday. I do have it set for Wednesday.
Okay, cool. Well, then we'll wait till Wednesday.
Yeah, stay tuned to Legit Paranormal News at 8:05 Eastern on Wednesday, where Cyn Shrader Hill, author, will be telling us about Hopkinsville goblins. There we go.
Yes.
Promote the news.
Perfect.
So what were you guys filming there? Oh, sorry, Cyn.
No, you go ahead. Yeah,
no, I just want to know more about this house still, and what you said you were filming there. Cyn, were you there? Would you guys do a big investigation?
I didn't get to investigate with Austin this time, unfortunately. I was there for the inaugural ghost hunt the Saturday before.
Oh.
Yeah. Really fun time.
Yeah, I'm bummed to miss that.
Yeah. Then Austin got to come back and film for almost a week.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, we're going to go back here in a couple months to finish up, but we're really diving into the history and then into the paranormal. That's really what we're doing with this new series. Next month, we're filming at 3 different locations. So we want to be strong on the history and then try to connect the paranormal to the history, if that makes sense. But,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It should make sense.
Yeah.
The Night House is definitely probably going to be our biggest project. So I know in a couple months we got some people coming in and do ground penetrating radar and all kinds of stuff. So we're diving deep into this one for sure.
I was wondering if the guy had gotten to come out this week for you.
Yeah, unfortunately it rained too much, but that's okay because we have another person. Well, 2 more people. Actually, one of the guys who lived in the home is like 87 years old now. and he's willing to come on and give an interview. And then we have another lady from the Historical Society who wants to come and do an interview for us. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Although I wish you were there to see Mr. Turner there. It was an emotional experience because he grew up there as a kid, and just seeing him light up as he walked through the property, it was an experience for sure.
How much had it changed since he was there, Austin?
Oh my God. So when he was there, it was pretty much in shambles from what I understand. And it's changed a lot. And he kept saying that. He was like, wow, I can barely recognize this place. I mean, he could recognize it, but from the state that he last saw it, you know, he was like, this place is completely different from the last time I was here. So he was really happy to see it being restored and brought back. He's, you know, that was kind of his childhood spot. So,
you know, Eric and Roger are doing a fantastic
oh my God, yes.
job. I can't believe how much they have gotten done in 2 months' time.
No, it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
Sarah, you would love this spot. They're going to rent it out for paranormal investigations.
Okay. That was going to be my next question, is if people are going to be able to actually, and like, I'm not sure. I don't want you to give away too much, Austin, because I know you guys are filming a documentary. I say, so Cyn, just so you know, I say documentary, which is apparently wrong.
I'm not going to flag you on it.
Okay. Well, Mike would. But anyways, I digress. Can you give us a little bit of a preview as to like what type of activity was being reported, like spurred on all this investigation?
So going up to this point, no activity reported. There were the neighbor, for example, he will not go near the house. He will not go inside the house. He's been there the longest. The wife of the previous owner has some experiences there that she won't talk about. And it's everything that's kind of like, quote unquote, been reported. Like, people have said that they've had experiences, just won't talk about them. But it's definitely nothing malicious. It's nothing bad. It's very welcoming. It's very loving. But for some reason, people just don't feel comfortable enough to share those experiences. So going in, we didn't know what to expect other than some experiences that they had when restoring the home. And then a couple experiences we had when we started investigating. But it's something that's new to, you know, whatever's there. So that's why we want to go back in a couple months and see, you know, if we bring more people in, if they'll be able to communicate more, because it's a learning process for us and for them, you know.
Oh yeah. And you know, the renovations might pick some stuff up too. Like, as we know, that happens quite often.
Absolutely.
I think it's interesting that you were there for so long and that Eric's there so much, because I find it frustrating sometimes that we'll watch something someone's filmed and they've only been in a location for 5 hours. And I just don't feel like going to a place once for 5 hours is a long enough amount of time to make any type of conclusion about anything.
Right.
So what do you think the benefits are of having so much time in the location?
Oh, well, I mean, I think one of the biggest ones was when I would go into a location to start investigating, I would say, okay, I'm just going to sit here for 20 minutes in silence. Then I know what noises the houses make. I know what it sounds like when cars go by. I know what it sounds like, you know, floorboards creak and stuff like that. And that is super beneficial when it comes to reviewing stuff on audio and stuff like that, because I can just sit there, listen to the normal sounds and just tag it on my audio. Say, okay, that's what it sounds like when, you know, a floorboard creaks, or that's what it sounds like when the air conditioner kicks on. So I think that's a big benefit. And I also think it's a big benefit for, you know, whatever's there to kind of get used to you, because you are intruding on their space. I mean, that's their home, that's their residence, and you're just visiting. I mean, even if you move into the place, it's still their home way before it was yours. And it's been their home for way longer than it's been yours. So I think you can also gain a mutual respect and trust. And, you know, they can scope out your intentions over that time of period better.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say you wouldn't just walk into a party at someone's house and go, hey, I'm here. How'd you die?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Why would we go into a location where there's possibly spirits there and speak to them as if like we come in demanding to know everything about it? It's not our,
Right.
you know, it's still a human interaction, right, Cyn? How do you feel about that? Like, even though they're passed on, it's still a human interaction.
You just have decency. Just have a little decency.
Right.
I do want to say that Eric and Austin had some strange things happen before Eric even bought this house. About the house, right?
Yeah. So before Eric saw the house, he started having dreams inside the house with a woman taking him around that we believe might have been Miss Knight. And so when he went to purchase the house, his offer got declined, and he was like, man, I know this is my house. Like, why would I have interacted with her and all this stuff? And I'm like, well, man, there's other properties. So he was looking at other properties. And eventually they came back and they're like, they took his offer. But I too was having dreams of the same woman. And me and Eric used to talk hours a day, every single day. But as soon as he bought this home, we didn't talk as much because he's always busy and he doesn't have all that time.
Right.
But I would have dreams and she would tell me things like, I like the library. And I'm like, and I don't know what, I didn't know much about, I didn't know anything about Miss Knight or anything like that. And I'm like, Eric, what's up with the library? He was like, what are you talking about? I said, the library. Some woman said she liked it. She was like, wow, we're just getting ready to put in a library where we think JB Knight's library would have been because he was an attorney.
That's
and I was
amazing.
like, okay, yeah, you need to do that. She wants that. So we started having all these kinds of dreams, and I would know what's going on inside the house without ever knowing. And, I could kind of come to him, but yeah, you should definitely do that.
Now maybe if you start bringing books in, like if Mrs. Knight was anything like me, I love being surrounded by books. Like, that might, help gain and garner trust even during communication. Like even at like, what was your favorite book? I love that kind of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Up in the attic, there's still some law books and stuff, I believe.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
there's a lot of cool stuff up there.
Yeah. A lot of things were left behind. But Austin, now I'm going to change a little bit from JB Knight House because we'll talk to Eric more about the JB Knight House soon.
Yeah.
But you also had dreams before Brushy Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Not
So
really.
Brushy Mountain. You don't even know what that is.
Brushy Mountain Prison in near Petros, Tennessee. It's up in the mountains. And James Earl Ray was one of the most notorious people that was housed there, and the only one that escaped over the wall I think he was gone for just a very short while, and he was not very far from the prison because it's surrounded on three sides by mountain and thick brush and trees. There's rattlesnakes. He was actually lucky to be found alive and brought back.
Yeah.
But so
what I'm drinking. So we're going to pause. Chris, this is just lemonade in a glass strawberry with a straw.
I have never seen a glass strawberry glass. That is amazing.
It is awesome.
It's me.
I've got water in my Atkins tumbler.
Atkins tumblers. Oh, wait. Segue. There is still time. We're closing at the end of June to win this 30-ounce Atkins tumbler to keep the hot things hot.
Cool things cold.
What else could you ask for in a tumbler? So all you got to do is go on our website, subscribe. You can like and subscribe on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. You can get up to 4 entries by just doing all those things and then messaging me or messaging Legit and telling us it's done. Okay,
and
sorry.
I actually boo-booed by calling it Atkins tumblers. And I apologize.
Oh, yeah, they're legit tumblers now. I forget all the time. Yeah. Chris, you have yours in. Chris is in the front running right now because she's the only one that entered. So I'm just going to say, people, chances, not to blow your chances, Chris, but she's already got 4 in versus 0.
Right.
So, Chris.
Okay. Back to the dreams about Brushy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Old Brushy. So Brushy, I never like saw anything on. I knew it was a big prison. I whenever I go somewhere, I do everything I can to avoid looking at the place, to hear claims of the place, to know the history of the place. I want to go in completely blind, so that I'm not influenced by anything. So I kept having these weird dreams where I was down into the hole, and I was drawn to this one cell inside the hole. And the hole was just this very dark, narrow hallway under the laundry room that just had 3 cells in it, 3 or 4, I think 4 cells.
Yeah.
And they were locked in there 24/7 with no lights. You couldn't see. People would come out permanently blind. They got nothing. They never got to leave their cells. They had a bucket of water and a bucket to go to the bathroom in, and they had to figure out which was which in the pitch black. And there could be 20 people in one of these small cells.
Wow.
So I just kept having dreams about this particular cell down there. And I told Eric, I was like, I need to go down there. I don't know why, but I need to. And he's like, all right, that's fine. So I got the Brushy around like 11 o'clock that day, 11 a.m. And then you guys came up around like 5 or 4, somewhere in there. And it wasn't until I was in the hole with Cyn, and I looked at the door, and I'm like, oh, my God. And right on the door is my name carved into it. None of the other doors had any sort of markings. There was no markings on even that door other than my name carved into it. And I was like, I'm done. I don't get it.
Yeah, I get that. There's some stuff that's just like too creepy. It's not even like pulling my hair or poking me or whatever. Like it's stuff like that. Like it's you're like, oh, my name, this and like that.
And I think too, the more you do this, the less you believe in coincidence.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
True.
But I was going to ask Austin. So Austin, you seem to have like a lot of sort of like prophetic type dreams. Do you consider yourself psychic?
No, I don't. I will never take on that claim ever.
I feel that word.
He is more sensitive than he is letting on, and he and Eric has actually been trying to persuade him to accept the fact that he's more talented than he thinks.
May I make a suggestion?
Let's hear it.
I think that, Austin, have you ever tried the Ganspeld method?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And do you find that opens you up a little bit more?
I found that I got a headache.
I found that he got a headache. Okay.
That's honestly all I got out of that one. But it could have been the people I was with. Could have been, who knows? So
that's a good point. Do you think that, like, sometimes I find that I have an easier time picking up stuff if I'm with people that I know really well, that I jive really well with? Something about the energy.
Yes.
Of all being together. So, Cyn, when it's you and Austin and Eric, do you guys feel like you pick up more when you're together?
I feel like I bring them down, honestly. I think they get more without me there. I feel like a ghost damper, honestly.
I doubt that's true.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I think you get more without me. I do.
It depends on what more is, what you consider more. You know what I mean? It's so subjective. There's so many different ways to communicate that, sometimes you don't see what's really relevant until you step way back. It might be a year after you're done investigating, and you're like, oh, you're just sitting there. Maybe we should put these things together and see that they actually make something up.
Exactly. But, exactly. I've had the privilege of investigating with Austin, 3 times now. We investigated at Linden, Tennessee at the old Commodore Hotel, where you guys started your documentary series.
Right.
And then the next, in March, that was in January. In March, we went up to Franklin, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually went through the Octagon House. We didn't investigate it, but we went through it. And then that evening, we investigated the Old Stone Jail and the archives across the street in Franklin, Kentucky. Then Brushy Mountain in April. Mm-hmm. And now the Night House, which we were a few days apart doing that. But I feel like we're like a little band of misfits, and I like it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I like it. I do.
Is
I agree.
Eric's like Little John. Are you Robin Hood, Cyn? How's this going down?
I don't know.
We're like all the same. We just got like split at birth, like our atoms and everything. It's just like now we're just these really strange, messed up people.
Paranormal field for you then is we will find many of us are strange men. You see my shirt? What it says? It says me weird always.
That's really awesome.
That would be me too.
Right.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. So what is the series called? What is the series going to be called?
So it's Strangely Haunted. Right now we have a couple videos out that are just like teasers. From here on out, it's going to be all long form documentaries. So I'm excited to get things going. And the 3 locations that we have coming up are locations that I've all been to, every single one of them, and I've spent extensive time in all 3 of these locations. But now I get to bring Eric in, who's never been to these locations and never really heard much of them. And especially one of the locations I've wanted to go back for probably about 7 years now, because I had one of the crazy experiences that I've had there. So I'm really excited to go back.
Yeah, tell us now, Austin. You have to tell us where that was.
Yeah, so I'll tell the story real quick. So this was back then it was called the Old Hartford Jail in Indiana. Now it's called Old Blackford Jail. And it's always been the craziest experience to me because, I mean, I've had people always make fun of me for it. Like, yeah, you've seen like full body apparitions and stuff fly across the room, but this is your crazy experience. I'm like, yeah, but there's a reason why. So the jail, it's like half jail, half living quarters for the sheriff at the time. So we're hanging out in the kitchen, and the owner, Dan, was in there with us. And he was talking to us, getting ready to leave for the night. We were staying there for 4 nights. And so he was making sure we had everything. And he was actually going to go stay at a church, which is Jim Jones's church that he owns.
What?
And he does investigations there now. Yeah. Jim Jones was born in Lynn, Indiana, which is not far from the jail and from all the other locations he owns. So he happens to own that. So he was going to stay the night at the church because he was living in the jail. Like, this man's amazing. I love this man. When I grow up, I want to be him. So we're just hanging out, and he was getting ready to leave, and my partner says, "Hey, it's 11:11. Make a wish." And I was like, "Man, I just hope we catch something completely unexplainable tonight." And about 30 seconds after I say that, we hear the loudest crash ever. And Dan was like, "You guys stay here." He was like, "Kids try to break in every now and then." He was like, "You guys stay safe." And I was like, "Dan, if we're going to get shot, I'm getting it on camera. So I'm going with you." And he was like, "All right, whatever." So I go with him, and we search this entire house, or the entire jail and the house, and we don't find anything. And so when you go up the stairs on the living quarters, there is a set of stairs, and there's a little landing. And then there's 2 more sets of stairs. One set goes into the living quarters, and the other one goes up to the attic. So I had gone up to the attic, and they were in the living quarters, and I didn't see anything. So I went back down to the first landing. And on the first landing is this little shelf that has this old antique clock on it. And I had commented on it when he gave us a tour because it was one like my parents used to have. And he was like, "Yeah, I found that at the old church. It hasn't worked since I moved it because those old clocks have weights in them and they have to be perfectly balanced to work." And he was like, "I need to get someone to come out here and work on it and get it to work." And so anyways, they ended up coming down and meeting me on the landing. And we're just like, there's no one here. We don't know what that was. And then Dan was like, wait a second. He was like, my painting fell. And he had this large painting that was done by his grandmother. And so he picks it up and he turns it around, and the back had the little wire on it that it hung up on, and it looked like it was clean cut in half. And it had fallen down. And we're just like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, things happen, whatever. And then we're just standing there for a couple seconds, and my partner's like, what's that sound? And it's this ticking. And Dan's like, oh, my God, it's the clock. So this painting had fallen down, landed on top of the clock, and started the clock. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's pretty weird. That's pretty crazy. But whatever. And Dan was like, look at the time. The time was correct. So that clock must have been stopped at 11:11. The painting fell onto the clock at 11:11, started at the exact second.
Wow.
And we just happened to be there for it. And it just got to the point where it was like, I've got nothing. I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
So that's an experience that's stuck with me for 6 years now, because I don't know, because then you get into, why was it stopped at 11:11? Were we meant to see that? How far back does it go that it was stopped at 11:11? Like, I mean, there's so many more questions.
Well, now you're getting into the synchronicity rabbit hole, Austin.
Exactly. And it has bugged me for 6 years now.
Wow. Do you set an alarm for 11:11 every day? Like, I'd be like, oh my God. What are they trying to tell me? What path am I supposed to be on? Like,
right.
That's crazy.
Nice though.
That's
a was a wild experience.
Wow. Okay, you also you were in a documentary called Phantom Farm, and that's actually where you did Gansfield on camera. No.
We did Estes on camera.
Estes. I thought you did Gansfield, but no, it was Estes. Yeah.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, no, it was Estes. Yeah.
You don't want to do that on camera. Go ahead, Austin.
That's one of the places we will be revisiting. So I'm really excited about that. Especially as of late. There's a lot of stuff that has drawn me into coming back there. It's been very wild. So I'm excited to get back there and get there with, how do I say this? A good group of people. So I'm really excited. Yes. Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
We've all been there. We've all done that.
Right. Yeah, you got to find your tribe, and then.
Yeah, you really do. I actually met Austin in Nashville at the expo that Eric and Regina and Lee put on. Mm-hmm. And so he was there for that documentary, I believe. Yeah. And then he's one of the guys that you meet and you want to befriend anyway. He's just like, oh, he could be my little brother. I kind of like him. and he was very quiet, extremely so, which made me want to make him talk more, which made him talk less. Yeah. So anyway, we ended up sitting at dinner that night at Cracker Barrel. He was right next to me. Bless his heart for having to put up with me for that long. But
I remember, was that when we went to Cracker Barrel and everyone else was like, no, we're not going out to eat, and then they end up all at the same tables next to us. I'm like, what? You guys said you weren't going out to eat. Like, why?
They were already there, and we ended up at the table next to them.
Yep.
Craziness the whole night.
That's awkward. It's awkward.
Yeah, but it was funny. It was
hilarious because it was like one group walked in that said they weren't going out, then another group walked in, then like, okay, we're all here.
Everyone got in the car and was like, you know what? I am hungry. And everyone went to Cracker Barrel. Everyone.
It was me and Eric and Greg and Austin. There's a couple others, and we were like, no, we're hungry. We're going to get something to eat, and it was probably Cracker Barrel, and that's where we went.
Yep.
they were
probably Cracker Barrels. Then do you just find the Cracker Barrels wherever you go?
I do. I do.
Yes, I will confirm that. Yes,
I do.
It does.
Yep, that is the thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's breaking news.
They
That's
serve
breaking
breakfast.
news.
They serve breakfast all day.
So does Denny's. Does Denny's still exist?
Yes.
Yeah, they're not as good as Cracker Barrel to me personally.
Breaking news: Cyn Shrader Hill Author loves Cracker Barrel.
Mhm.
Yeah, but my favorite restaurant of all time is Spaghetti Factory, which
What
has
spaghetti factories?
Spaghetti Factory has spaghetti, but
Yeah, but
I mean,
I've never heard of this.
yeah, but they're usually in old warehouses,
Yep.
and there's one in Louisville. There's one I've eaten at like a third of them all over the country, Atlanta, out in California. So
Cyn, what you're telling me is that you like to eat spaghetti out of old warehouses.
I do, but not Spaghetti Warehouse, Spaghetti Factory.
Oh, okay. Spaghetti out of old factories. I apologize. Hey, Opa. Whoa. Such a big difference.
There's a Spaghetti Warehouse franchise as well as Spaghetti
Yes.
Factory and Spaghetti Company. There's 3 franchises.
Yep.
So you got to get the right one.
True.
That's
Although
too much spaghetti.
They're tearing down. So the Spaghetti Warehouse in Columbus is in an old factory that was a Civil War hospital.
Wow.
It was a morgue. It was all kinds of stuff. And they're tearing it down to build an outlet mall. And
That's
it-
sad.
Depresses me so much.
That's sad.
The Spaghetti Factory on 2nd Avenue in Nashville, that area got bombed just a couple of years back, and they won't build
Wow.
it back. I'm so upset. That was my closest one. So upset.
Man.
You're gonna have to go to Cracker Barrel. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay. Not the same.
Right.
Gotta go to the Cracker Barrel. And you
Right.
see, but Cracker Barrel, you can go there and you can shop for Christmas ornaments all year round.
That is true. That is true.
So there you go.
Yes.
Cyn, I think we need Austin to tell us another Cyn Shrader Hill author story. Like, I need to know more now. Besides you loving spaghetti in old places and Cracker Barrel.
I think Austin needs to tell another Austin story.
What? No. What don't we know about you, Cyn?
Probably enough that, I mean, I'm not exciting.
I disagree. Let me think something good.
No.
I mean, I really, I know it's kind of cliche, but I have to go with the Old Stone Jail. I have to. It's one of my favorite Cyn moments when we're investigating and we're doing an EVP session and we're all just kind of paying attention and we keep hearing this noise. I'm like, what's that noise? And we look over and Cyn is just playing the drums on the air duct. And Eric is like, that's Cyn playing us a song for some reason.
And I know not to do that. I know not to do this.
Oh my God, the look on her face. It was like she realized what she was doing. And it was the funniest look on her face I've ever seen in my life.
I think when he was going through and working on the footage, he sent me just a blurb and said, I have watched this at least 10 times and I'm still crying. I'm still crying.
Austin, do you still have that piece of footage?
Oh yeah, it's in the video. We put it in there.
Oh my God.
I made sure it went in there.
I gotta see this. Because I don't know. I see that as happening. As Cyn just getting so excited about the drums for some reason that she decided during an evening session. It was a good time.
I had gotten bored because it was quiet.
She's like,
no, I had my hands up on the ductwork, but it was quiet. We were waiting.
There wasn't a drum down there. You were drumming just on like ducts and pipes.
Yeah, over her head on the random air duct. Yes.
I was bored because we couldn't get any answers coming through the spirit box. Oh Lord, I couldn't believe I did that. That's on the Old Stone Jail documentary.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. Everybody go watch the Old Stone Jail documentary.
Strangely haunted, you guys. Strangely haunted. That's Austin and Eric's pet project, really. Well, I don't know. Eric's pet project now is JB Nighthouse.
Yeah. Yep.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truly, I would not want to restore anything because I do not have the patience. I just don't
either. No, not like they do at all. I mean, they literally work at least 6 days a week, all day, and I'm just like, no.
And it's amazing that he's really lucky that his husband Roger knows electricity, plumbing, carpentry, all that stuff.
Yep, landscaping, everything. Like,
yeah.
It's insane.
Phenomenal.
I never managed to find a handyman, like a guy that could do stuff.
Just in general, just stuff.
Just everything. I mean, they could all do stuff, but just like very specific things.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not fixing things. Like I don't want to have to call a handyman to, I don't know. I just started learning to do it myself. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either, Tim, but I live by myself. So what am I supposed to do?
But you're Superwoman.
I'm not. I'm really not.
Oh, you are. YouTube.
YouTube. Chris is telling us, just YouTube. I do. I try to. But you ever try to change a door lock and then find the exact right model of door on YouTube? Like I just said, Chris, I don't have patience.
That's a problem then.
I'm just going to start hammering stuff eventually.
So let's talk about these now.
Okay.
All righty.
What do you think? Which one do you want to talk about first, Austin?
It's up to you. This is your show.
Oh no. Well, okay.
I'm very interested in the fictional work because it boggles my mind that people can just make story, like the stories just come out of their heads, full, complete ones. I only get like a quarter of the story and then it's like, forget about it. But a full story came out of your head. So how'd that happen?
I wish I knew. So that one was based off like a reoccurring nightmare I had as a child. And then it kind of about 3 years ago, I had a really traumatic experience and I needed something to kind of like let out the things that I witnessed. And it just happened to be write a gory book, to kind of get that stuff out of my mind.
Wow.
But I'm not one of those people. Number one, I don't read. The only books I've ever read were I Spy books. Like I'll definitely find all the thimbles. Trust me, I'm good at that. But I don't read. Never read. Don't even read my own books. So, I don't really sit down to write either. With that book, it was different because I kind of knew the characters I wanted to create, and I created them, and then I created their image, and then I basically just lived with them for a few months.
Wow.
In the sense where like anything that would happen in my day to day, I'd be like, oh, what do you think of this so and so? So I'm like having schizophrenic breakdowns in the middle of public, and just kind of communicating with these fictional characters. And by the time I sat down, it was like I didn't write it; they wrote it. But I'll sit down and I'll never sit down to write. It's whenever I feel like I'm in this world, in this space, I'll sit down, I'll start writing. And then the moment that I realize that what I'm writing is fiction, I stop and I'll walk away. And it could be a day, could be a week, could be a month, could be 6 months before I sit back down and start writing again. I don't know. But I don't want to try to make myself be creative because I feel like that's just forcing stuff that's just not going to work.
This book grabs you from the start, takes you on this freaking scary roller coaster ride, and then burns you And oh my gosh, you've got to read it, Sarah. You got to read
You
it.
just told me it's doing all these horrible things to me, Cyn. You have to say nice things about Austin's book. Like
Okay. Hell's Carnival
it's gonna burn you.
Hell's Carnival is a lighthearted jaunt through a flower growing, dreamland. It's amazing.
Oh, you just wrote this book jacket. That's awesome. Thanks, Cyn.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, I tell everyone don't read it. But I mean, it's also because I think my mindset at the time, I was having my first time in my life, I started having severe panic attacks and all kinds of things. So it was I definitely warn people before they read it. I don't know if it needs a warning because, like I said, I don't read, so I don't know how it.
So I'm going to put you on the spot just a little bit, Austin. Like you're not already.
Okay.
So I ordered these 2 books specially from Austin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I ordered this and he said, "Have you read this one yet?" "No, I have not." And he sent that one as well. Well, yes. Unfortunately, he didn't sign them.
I knew where this was going.
Ay, ay, ay. But I get this envelope in the mail.
Oh, man.
And it is the picture that's on the front of the book, right?
Yeah.
Special envelope. I open it up and it's got Cyn. Ooh. And it looks like it's glittery blood.
That's awesome.
Right?
He does crafts too?
Well,
Not well.
inside that letter was a letter. And I mean, inside the envelope was some other things. I'll show you that in a minute. But there's this letter. Oh, I'm trying to figure out how to hold it. And it's got like, looks like bloody fingerprints all over it. Now, if I read this, Austin, it doesn't give anything away, right?
They were all different, so I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay. So the letter I got says, "Dear Cyn, thank you for your interest in visiting Hell's Carnival. Please find your ticket enclosed."
Oh, cool.
Right? Which I'm now using as bookmark.
Oh.
Well, that's a good idea.
Make sure to wear your provided bracelet upon arrival, as our staff knows that you are a valued guest. We look forward to having you and promise an experience that you will never forget. Sincerely, Ma.
Oh,
And then I get all these cool stickers. Now I can't show you 2 of them because they're on my computer. I stuck them on my computer. I really like them. But I mean, it was this
that's pretty cool.
package. Yes. It was incredible marketing stuff. And I'm like, why can't I be that original and come up with stuff like that for my books? But alas, I'm not Austin.
It's very creative.
There were a couple other packages that went out, mainly to podcasts. And the Mako podcast, I almost caused every single one of them to get divorced. Because in some of the packages, I included a stuffed animal that was all bloodied and tormented. And all their wives thought I was a serial killer. And they were all freaked out. And they wanted to not talk to me anymore.
Okay,
Everything to do with me. And they were like, it got bad. Their wives got into a text chat.
Let's say who that is. So Mako stands for
the Middle Aged and Creeped Out podcast.
Yeah, and we're talking about Todd and Sean and Nate.
Yep. Oh my God, yeah. Their wives wanted me out of their lives permanently.
Wow.
It got bad.
Well, I was so excited about this. I showed Greg. I brought him in from outside and said, look at all this stuff. And look, it's like a bloody, I don't know, invitation from Ma with my name on it. I'm excited. So, and I'm still holding on to these.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
You should. You should make sure you keep them in the book and keep everything.
I'm keeping it in here so I can.
So
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, that's
incredible.
a good idea.
Incredible.
But where can we buy these books?
They're all on Amazon, so you can
Amazon.
go search on Amazon and pick them up if you want to.
Now this one though is based on true story.
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a true story of when about 10 years ago, when I first started making videos in the paranormal. We had a YouTube channel. We're doing okay, and we wanted to ramp it up a little bit, and we were trying to find the location that was hot. And at the time, it was Bobby Mackey's in Wilder, Kentucky. So we're like, let's go to Bobby Mackey's. So I dropped half my life savings and spent a couple hours in Bobby Mackey's. Hated every second of it. And but the good thing that came out of it was the lady who was running Bobby Mackey said, "Hey, I got this house. It's reportedly haunted. You want to stay there?" I was like, "Well, I just spent way too much money, so yes, I don't care if it's a shed. We will gladly stay there." So we went there, and we weren't expecting to investigate. This place was brand new. It was a really nice home, and we walk in, and the first experience I had was everyone was split up across the house on 2 different stories, and I walk into a room, and a woman says hello to me loud enough that everyone in the house heard it. And we're like, oh, crap. Okay, we got something here. So we started investigating, and it got so bad, we were like, we have no need to ever come back here ever again, period.
Wow.
We're done. So we were never going to return until a couple weeks later. Like, you know, we said we're not going to do that thing. Let's do it, but do it for like 2 weeks.
Oh, God.
So we ended up going back and spending about a total of 2 weeks in this home that, just about killed the owner of the home. He was on his deathbed in a hospital because of what he claims was in this home. And had not just this neighbor, or not just this homeowner, but 3 different houses was involved in this haunting. Wow. And it was terrible. It was everything you could think of. And things that I did not believe could ever happen happened.
Wow. And it pretty much put a hold on everybody, right?
What do you mean?
As far as a lure, like the owner had a lure to this house, and you once you got in there really didn't want to leave. And
yeah, that was the strangest part about it. I mean, I was having very adverse effects to where I was extremely sick. I remember it was like October when we went back, so it wasn't too cold. And I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, a thermal shirt, a hooded sweatshirt, and a Carhartt coat, and still shivering. And I just could not get warm. I just felt terrible. I was sick. At one point, I was throwing up blood. It was a good time. But I would not leave the house. I had no want to. I wouldn't do it. And I don't know why. And it's the same exact thing that happened to the homeowner who, when his wife and daughter left, he said, "I'm staying here until," I say thankfully, although it's a good thing, but isn't, that he was to the point where he had to go to the hospital. Like, he was on his deathbed. If that wouldn't have happened, and if he wouldn't have gotten out of that home, I don't think he would be here. I really don't.
Wow.
But after he got out of the home, he realized, yeah, I should probably not go back there. And he didn't.
He didn't?
He didn't. The first time he was back was the second time that we went. He agreed to come into the home and talk to us. And then after that, he never went back.
Wow.
The bank ended up foreclosing on the house for, I believe, the 3rd time in a row. The previous 2 owners let the bank foreclose on the house. They just left. The owners before them, they tried to destroy the home and burn it down. And that's why it was a brand new house when we walked in. They just built it on top of the original foundation. They said they took chainsaws to support beams, tried to burn it down. They said they thought it was drug addicts that were just tripping. I don't think that was the case. They wanted that house gone for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
They thought they had to just. That's crazy. Now I want to go there.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. It's an insane place. I've never been anywhere like it, and I kind of hope I never
Do again.
do again.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I kind of hope I do again.
And that's in Kentucky too.
Yes. Yep. That's
Yeah.
in Taylor Mill, Kentucky.
Kentucky's where it's at for the
Yep.
crazy haunts.
Right?
And I am so jealous that you get to that you've gotten to the chance to go into these places and really steep yourself in them and stay there. Like I've wanted to do that. Like I just think that letting the place and the spirits or whatever's there getting to know you, you just probably get so much more over a period of time. And I just haven't had the opportunity. So good for you, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting experience, to say the least.
Wow. I love it. I love it. And so Chris had given us the link. This is the link. So if you're
Thank
on
you.
Facebook, just copy and paste that. That's where you can go and purchase Austin's books, which they do sound very good. Very
They
interesting.
They are.
Before we run out of time, Austin, is there anything else you want to promote that you have coming up that people should be keeping an eye out for?
Just stay tuned to the Strangely Haunted YouTube. We're gonna have a video coming out here pretty soon, which will be Brushy Mountain. And
Okay.
that's about all I got. Go buy all of Cyn Shrader Hill Author's books too.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Her books are
Absolutely.
also very, very good. I enjoy them. Those are the only books I have read.
wow.
You should feel
There you
honored.
go. There you go.
I am flattered.
Did you
Actually.
sign them for him, Cyn?
Absolutely, I
She
signed
did.
them.
She did.
I was trying to help you.
Oh yeah, no, I tell you, I took my two to him at
Yes.
the Commodore Hotel in Linden,
Yep.
Tennessee, and said, "Okay, I need you to sign these," and he did.
Yeah, so they
I've been
eventually got
carrying
signed.
around King Mike L's books, and every time I'm like, hey, Mike, you have to sign these, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it later.
No, you get him to do it now.
Have you ever tried to get Mike to do something now?
Yeah, it's not.
Doesn't work out.
Yeah,
It doesn't work that way. It's a, yeah, but okay. So yeah,
Squirrel,
that's
squirrel.
squirrel,
Yeah.
squirrel.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's all
I
good.
am
No,
the
you're
same
not.
way.
No, you're not.
Well, I definitely am. Squirrel, shiny squirrel.
I'm like that.
Yeah, we're all like that.
Yes.
That's why we all get along on Legit Podcasts, because we are
That's right.
and so strange and unusual.
Yes.
Cyn Shrader Hill Author, how about you? What you got going on?
Holy cow! I am 400 plus recipes deep in Mark's cookbook.
Oh, that's
Or-
right.
100 plus? What? Some great, some horrible, and they're all going in the same book. And once I get that one done, then my next signs book will come out. It's not goodbye, 2 more signs from beyond.
Wow.
It's exciting stuff.
And I think, let's see, Sarah, your story is in that. Yeah, and Austin's story is in that. And so many other of my great friends. So
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Wyatt
Awesome.
has shown up more too. So you'll hear more about Wyatt in the book.
I can't wait.
Ooh.
When Strangely Haunted, like after it premieres, Cyn, are we going to be able to get Austin and Eric on here?
Well,
Talk
you
about
know, it's already premiered.
Oh, it
They're
did.
going to make the documentaries longer.
Okay.
Full
All right.
documentaries, right, Austin?
Correct. Yeah. We never wanted to do the short YouTube thing. We just put a couple 30-minute videos out just to kind of figure out how we work with each other and what, places we follow the best and that type of thing. So now we're setting out to do what we actually wanted to do. The first 2 you can find on YouTube, but the new stuff, higher quality, more production value, it's going to be a lot better than what is up there. So
Okay. And is that Austin? Is that just like at Strangely Haunted on YouTube, so people can
Yes.
find the channel? All right.
Yep, absolutely.
You heard it here. Like and subscribe at Strangely Haunted. Like and subscribe at Legit Podcasts on YouTube.
That's right.
There we go. And hopefully we will have these guys back with Cyn. You know what? You should do that interview. We should do a special, and it should just be the 3 of you. That would be
Okay.
the
Twist my
That
arm.
is I don't know if YouTube will allow that.
We'll probably get taken down again.
Probably.
We're gonna start putting special content on our website that we keep getting knocked for, and we're like, whatever, Meta. Wow. Like telling me that like Shaw's show is inappropriate. There's
What?
like boobs in there. What are you talking about?
Wow.
They're ridiculous. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Chris, I can't even string two thoughts together in a row. So I don't know how I'm coming out with a book. Maybe if I just rambled at Cyn for long enough, she could write one for me. I don't know.
I could do that.
Go.
Yeah, I could do that.
Probably. Now, if I gave you my life story, then it would be like it would be a horror show. It would. Yeah.
Maybe your life story and Country Boy Mike's life story as a box set. Now that would be something.
Intertwine, or where we crossed roads.
Yep, that would be something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. I'm going to wrap it up. Austin, thank you so much for coming on. That was so interesting.
Thank you.
Definitely be looking for the Eric Austin Cyn holiday special. Don't know which holiday, but it should be one. It should be one.
Bastille Day. Let's put it on the calendar.
National Spaghetti Day. Guys.
There you go. There you go.
There you go. Live from the Cracker Barrel. Okay, Cyn. Cyn, any last minute things?
I got nothing.
Oh,
But
awesome.
Austin, thank you so very much for coming on. And
thank you.
Having you. We love talking to you. You're going to have to come back.
Anytime. Let me know.
Awesome. So go out there, buy Austin's books. Buy Cyn Shrader Hill Author's books. Don't wait for me to write one. Buy theirs. Absolutely. So from us at LegitPodcast.com, again, happy Father's Day and good night. And we will see you tomorrow at 9:05 p.m. for the Legit, which is in with myself and Sarah G, Witch MD. Have a good night, everyone.